Hi, thank you all for coming. My name is Skyler and I attend Telluride High School. But this summer I spent at Arizona State University doing geochemistry. ASU is located in Tempe, Arizona. It's a really cute little college town, as Connor mentioned. I lived about 2 miles off of campus, and I took this blue orbit bus to school every single day. And I stayed with the wonderful Teresa and Jay Robinette at their beautiful house with their 2 cats that I happen to be allergic to. So puffy eyes and all, it was a great experience. As many people know, there is no fast food in Telluride, and I spent a lot of time trying new things, and that included some In-N-Out and some other fast food for the first time. Also, another fun fact about Arizona is that it is extremely hot there. It was plus 107, 108 every single day, and the highest temperature I think it got for me personally was 115, which is kind of exciting, I guess, record temperature. Also, everyone would always ask me, like, what do you miss most about home? And I, of course, would reply, the mountains. And then to go, oh, we have one of those, and then point out this one. And this is a mountain. It's right off of campus. I think it's around 1,000 feet high. I don't know. And it really brings perspective to making mountains out of molehills. Another fun thing I got to do is I got to take a trip up to Flagstaff and visit the Lowell Observatory. That is where they discovered Pluto, if you don't know. They had a lot of really fancy telescopes and cool things over there, and I got to, put my iPhone up to the telescope and take this picture of Saturn, which I thought was pretty cool. So this is the ANBAR lab. This is pictured across here, the panorama is, and that is the ANBAR machine lab where they keep all the mass spectrometers, which are basically like just under $1 million machines where they measure element isotope concentrations. And then they also had a clean lab there, and that's where I got to suit up in the nylon and the shower cap and the goggles and gloves and the whole shebang, I guess, and perform a lot of chemistry and science. So, and then here is my mentor and PhD student, Chad Ostrander, and the rest of the ANBAR lab. And here I am working on a mass spectrometer, and we'll get more into the science now. So the big question for astrobiology and basically geochemistry is how did life evolve on Earth, and how can other planets do it? So what we know for Earth especially is that oxygen is super important for life development on Earth, and how oxygen was able to accumulate on Earth was through the Great Oxidation Event. So photosynthetic organisms contributed to oxygen rises in the atmosphere, and that was able to sustain around 2.5 billion years ago. But what we know is that between 3 billion years ago and 2.5 billion years ago, that there were lots of rises in oxygen, or whiffs, as Dr. Ambar quotes it famously in all of his papers. So basically there was lots of different rises of oxygen, and we're trying to figure out why these rises were able to happen, but then didn't sustain like the Great Oxidation Event did. So by figuring this out, we're able to figure out why other planets can have oxygen rises, and how basically they can have their own Great Oxidation Events. So one of the ways we can test oxygen concentration from this long ago is through rocks. And obviously, Earth is 4.5 billion years old, so it's extremely hard to figure out the oxygen concentration from this time. So we basically do this by looking at rocks, and one of these ways we can do this is through the element molybdenum. Molybdenum is one of the elements that's commonly found associated with oxygen, especially in water. So in oxic water, or water with high concentrations of oxygen, molybdenum is super happy and just kind of floats around. But in eucinic water, where there isn't a lot of oxygen present, molybdenum will sink and join the sediment on the bottom. So when we're looking at these rocks, we're looking for high concentrations of molybdenum, meaning that there wasn't a lot of oxygen present in the water at the time, or we're looking for low concentrations of molybdenum, meaning that they was during a whiff, so there's lots of oxygen present at the time. So here in the middle here is where I am performing some chemistry in the clean lab. Basically just was pipetting these 3.3 billion year old rocks, and dealing with lots of acid pouring and the whole works. on the far side over there, that's a picture of some shale sediments that we crushed down into the fine pieces pictured on the microbalance over there, and I'd have to measure them out and do that sort of thing. And then up top here is the mass spectrometer, and I did a lot of mass spectrometer analysis, which was pretty exciting, but they're really expensive machines, and I didn't want to screw up someone else's research, but that was pretty cool. So my advice to any future pin turns is that it's going to be a really new experience, and you're going to be trying a lot of new things. Like, I showed up and I didn't even know what geochemistry was, and I learned about an entire field of science that was completely new to me. So you're going to learn a lot, and it's going to be really exciting. So you just have to be open to try it all, and like everyone else said, just ask questions and learn to the best of your capabilities what you can. So I want to thank Sarah Holbrook and the entire Pinhead staff and board, my host family, Teresa and Jay Robinette. Thank you so much. Your generosity means a lot. My mentor, Chad Ostrander, Dr. Ariel Ambar, and the entire Ambar lab. Thank you for being patient with me while I was there. And then to the Pinhead donors and supporters, thank you guys so much.